This is Radar. Now, most people look at Radar with those perky ears that are almost as big as his whole body and think, I'll bet he can hear his treat bag from 5 miles away. And they might be right. He loves saying hello to every human he meets and following commands to get that snack. But Radar's real genius just might be the secret to helping you be more productive, avoid burnout, and maybe even build resilience at work. And in this video, I'll tell you exactly how to apply Radar's lessons to your own life. Let's get started. Radar is a playful pup currently up for adoption through Fetchacure's Pixie's Pen Pals, and I'll share more on them later. Radar is all about the action. He's a social butterfly, energizer bunny, and outdoor adventurer who loves to romp with his companions and kids and other dogs. But when Radar needs a break, he plops down under the AC if possible, and next to a human friend as often as possible. And that's where Radar's genius move comes in. There's wisdom in his approach to not only resting, but choosing to do something that makes him feel happy and connected. In fact, his recent foster caregiver, Steve, said that he was amazed at how Radar curled up right next to him shortly after he brought him home for a short-term visit, as if he had been Steve's companion for years. And Steve said that if he had allowed Radar on his bed, he's sure this pup would have curled up right next to him. It's like nothing he'd seen in all his years of fostering. And there's a lesson in that for all of us. Too many of us either don't take breaks or don't think about what to do when we do take a break. And yet that's impacting the very performance that we're trying to achieve in the first place. In coaching, I've worked with so many professionals who are running on empty. They're ambitious, high-performing, and driven, but they don't know how to take a break, or at least without feeling guilty. Instead, they keep slogging through, wearing overwhelm as some sort of badge of honor. It's not. If you think resilience is about pushing through or your performance will suffer, think again. As happiness guru Sean Aker wrote in Harvard Business Review, resilience is about how you recharge, not how you endure. That means that recharging isn't a nice to have, it's what makes performance, especially sustained high performance, possible in the first place. And most of us have gotten that way wrong. Think of it like this. Marathon runners do more than just run until they plop down at the finish line or until they get to the finish line. They actively replenish their bodies along the way, and they have a strategy after the race ends for rest, nutrition, and active recovery. In the same way, during periods of intense mental work, we need to refresh along the way. The problem is, many of us confuse mindless breaks with mindful recharging and restoration. You see, mindless breaks are when you decide to take a break but give no thought to what will truly refill your tank. Instead, you find yourself zoning out on social media, doom scrolling depressing news, or wolfing down your food. It's technically a break, but there's nothing restorative about it. And mindful recovery is more like Radar, stepping away from the chaos and focusing on something that brings joy, connection, or even energy. In fact, research shows that short, intentional breaks help our brains solve problems faster and make better decisions. So it may improve your results on the very thing you're afraid to step away from. Just 5 minutes of physical activity can increase energy levels and decrease your stress hormones. So don't try to tell me you don't have 5 minutes to intentionally shift to something that brings energy, joy, or relaxation. And there are lots of ways you can take a mindful, intentional break. Some you've probably thought of but just haven't done. And by the way, YouTube has whole channels devoted to short meditations, mindfulness activities, jazz cafe scenes, ocean waves crashing, DJs playing energizing music, you name it. One of my favorite mindful breaks is playing with my rescue cat Chopper, especially when he sits on my laptop so I have no choice but to disconnect from what I'm doing. I'm not sure if that counts as my intention or his, but whatever. If you have ideas, I want you to share them in the comments below. How do you pause and take that mindful break? Still feeling guilty about taking a break? Maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's nice for other people, but my time is money. Well, how about trading that time is money for time affluence instead? And it was first coined by psychologist Tim Kasser back in 2009. And time affluence is that happiness that comes from feeling like you have ample time in your day to get what you need to get done. And not surprisingly, studies show that mindfulness can increase your perceived time affluence and your well-being. So just remember, it's not taking away valuable time, it's making the time more valuable. Let me say that again. Taking a break is not taking away valuable time, it's making the time more valuable. So go ahead and take that break, even if it's for only 5 minutes, and just be more intentional about it. All right, so now tell me, how can you recharge like Radar? What helps bring you the energy, contentment, or calm that you can insert into the middle of your day or at a point where you just need a bit mental break? Drop it in the comments below because your thoughts may just spark an idea for someone else. And in fact, speaking of spark, if Radar sounds like your kind of pup, outgoing, energetic, and always down for a snuggle, I've dropped a link to his profile and to Pixie's Pen Pals as well. And about Pixie's Pen Pal, they're an amazing Virginia-based organization that brings pets from area shelters and pairs them with correctional facility residents who then work with a professional dog trainer to train and socialize the dogs in their care in hopes of helping them get adopted. And I know firsthand how well the program works because I adopted my Black Lab Princess Midnight from there in 2013, and she was the best dog ever. In fact, getting amazing companions into more homes like Midnight is really why Coaching to the Rescue exists in the first place. So check out Pixie's Pen Pals for more amazing pets, share this story about Radar, and be sure to subscribe so you can get more coaching tips and uplifting stories about rescue pets here on Coaching to the Rescue. Until next time, I hope you're able to recharge like Radar.